So we've just held the briefing for the 52nd Brisbane to Gladstone Multihull Yacht Race, and I've got a couple of representatives from some of the boats that have come up from Sydney to compete in the race. Ben Kelly from Top Gun and Chris Williams from Morticia. So just, if I can start with you, Ben, tell us a little bit about Top Gun and why it's come up from Sydney to take on this race.
Top Gun's an icon of offshore multihull sailing in Australia. It's a big name. It's come from the 80s. Was the fastest boat in Australia, I'm sure, for a period of time, and now owned by Darren Drew. He's spent a lot of money on the boat, put a lot of love into it. The boat's been repainted, new sails, new ropes. It's ready to go. He had a tough year last year, and he's come back on a mission, and he wants the results. So he's got a great crew, and the boat's well prepped, and it's a great racetrack for a 50-foot multi-hull. So he's going to be here every year he can.
Good stuff, good to hear. And Chris, with Morticia was here last year and managed to take out the triple, the line honours, the OMR and the PHS. Obviously you'd be keen to do that again. What sort of strategies have you got to try to repeat that performance?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, last year was a lucky one for us, I suppose, in a lot of ways. Enjoyed our time back here to defend and have another go. Conditions this year are going to be same, a bit tricky getting out of the bay, and should be a good blast down the coast, or sorry, up the coast, and then tricky getting into Gladstone. Got a lot of bigger boats around us. We're only a small boat in the fleet, but push hard and sail the wheels off the thing and do the best we can.
That's Boss Racing. It's based out of Cabbage Tree Creek here, sailed by Gary Saxby. It's certainly done this race many times. This is probably its 13th Brisbane to Gladstone. A very competitive boat in the fleet. In this light wind, they'll certainly be looking for a great result. Blackjack will, assuming everything goes well with them, they will clear that fleet quite quickly. They'll be about twice the speed of some of the tail enders in that fleet. There's a boat called Renaissance, boat owned by Mike Hodges out of Manly. Renaissance is a shonning catamaran, a very nice boat for a very strong contender on a handicap finish. And certainly if the wind gets stronger, they'll do very well. There's a boat called Top Gun. That's a Crowther 50-foot catamaran out of Sydney. This used to be the fastest boat in Australia. The next boat there with the cream hull and everyone on board with the orange shirts, that's a boat called Fantasia. That's owned by Andrew Stransky. He built the boat in his backyard on Russell Island, but he's a very competitive sailor. He's been sailing many years and he knows what he's doing. We're looking at a boat called Hasta La Vista. So that's a trimaran. That's an old Crowther design. It's still very competitive, new sails on, and certainly one to watch as well. Coming in closer to the start vessel, there's a boat pointing towards us now, very white looking with sails pointing towards us. That's a boat called Free Spirit. That's also a Crowther design. Crowther was ahead of his time in multi-hull design in the 80s and 90s and churned out some fantastic boats, and they're still competitive today. A vessel with the red hulls out towards the port of Brisbane is a boat called the Boatworks. So it's a Granger modified design.
Everyone, I just want you to give old LBJ's a round of applause. He's going to start the race for us. 96 years of age. I wish I was going that good at 96. Hopefully I will be. And he's been a veteran of 10 Brisbane and Gladstone Yacht Races, and he's had the honour of coming to start the race for us today. Thanks, Albie.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now,
They're starting.
Okay, so that's a clear start for the race, and you can see them accelerating. So Boatworks takes the start. He's the first one to cross the line. He had a beautiful position there up at the boat end of the line, and you can see how quickly those light boats just accelerate away. Renaissance down here close to us also had a very good start. It's a heavier boat, it takes a while to get it up to speed, but they are now powering and they're in a very good strong position. You can see some of the boats in the middle, they're having to work around each other. You can see Morticia just going behind Hustler Vista. They didn't get a very good starting position for them, but they'll be happy enough. It's a long race, plenty of time to make up from there.
It's the day of the Gladstone. Hectic action on board Fantasia as everybody gets the boat ready. What do you reckon, Mara? How do you think we're going to fare in this race? What's your...
We've got a good chance, doing pretty well.
And how do you think the weather's going to play out?
Hopefully a bit more breezy than what they say, but if not, then that's fine.
Lots of boats going out. Easter Friday. Everybody wants to be in the action.
and at the moment it looks like we're second on OMR and PHS. How does that feel?
It's so special, very special to get a second in the Gladstone, because it's such a hard race to do that. Everyone's so competitive and it's so unpredictable, so I'm feeling pretty chuffed.
That sounds pretty good.
Alright, we're coming up to the line. Finish line.
Pretty good feeling.
And moving on to the most important trophy for the race, what you guys are out there racing for over the weekend, is first on OMR, and that goes to Morticia. Well done. So first OMR is the crystal vase, engraved wooden stand, winch handled, bottle of rum, and a Boatworks voucher to the value of $2,000.
Good evening, guys. Obviously, I speak on behalf of Sean and Chris and the whole team. Thanks again for another great year, guys. We know how much effort these guys go to organise the event. Really appreciate their time and efforts. So it's great seeing people continue to support the event. Hopefully we can get a few more boats back again next year. At this stage, unfortunately, we won't be here next year, but hopefully you guys have a great race. Obviously, Shawnee and the rest of us on the crew put a heap of time into the boat to keep it going and going at the front of the pack. It's a big thing for Sean, and credit to him for doing what he does. Obviously, we've got to thank the competitors and Matt and the Gladstone Council for supporting the event. Without that sort of support, we all know that events like this slowly decline, so you know, it's a great thing. Let's keep it going. Thanks again, guys, and see you on the water.
This race is run by the Multihull Yacht Club of Queensland. If anyone out there is interested in multi-hull yachts of any description, racing, cruising, socialising, have a look at the website. It's www.mycq.org.au. Based out of Manly, meet once a month, racing at least weekly.